Welcome along to Donington Park for event 3 in the 2012 Motorsport News Ford Fiesta Junior Championship. We're on board with JJ Ross. This is a moment from qualifying. Donington always one of the most challenging circuits in the UK. Get it wrong and the circuit can bite, as JJ Ross found out. Not the sort of history that JJ wants to make. First rollover in Motorsport News Ford Fiesta Junior Racing, but a great effort by the Daniels Motorsport team has seen the Blue Machine back out on circuit for the first of 2 races for you. Charlie Liddell on pole position with Jack Mitchell alongside, then Aidan Moffat and Ben Wilcox. JJ Ross lines up 5th with newcomer James Manning completing the grid in 6th place. Well, these youngsters in for a bit of a treat. Not many drivers get to come to Donington Park for their first race meeting and drive on the legendary Grand Prix circuit. That's exactly what these 14 to 16-year-olds have got today. So we're going to be promised, I think, some great action. You can see the 2 WDE Motorsport cars on the front row, and a great start by pole position man Charlie Liddell, who gets away well. Jack Mitchell slotting into 2nd position. This is the view from Ben Wilcox starting 3rd. And looking down the inside as they go down into Redgate for the first time. Mitchell leaves half a door open in car number 19. Fair racing from them. And Wilcox gets through, but Aidan Moffat running very well indeed in the 43 car and up into 2nd position. So Aidan Moffat, we get to the track shots, you'll see him in the blue and yellow car, but we're back on board. There's Aidan in front, Ben Wilcox down to 3rd position. Jack Mitchell back in 4th at the moment. A little bit of a squirrely moment for Aidan under Starkey's Bridge up into Schwant's Curve, the sweeping left-hander, and then round in the right to McLean's they will go. We stay with Schwant's at the moment. Overtaking opportunity here. Wilcox looks at the inside, but Aidan Moffat gets a much better run. There is car number 19. Jack Mitchell coming back into 3rd position as they head around the double right-hander effectively at Coppice, back onto the Dunlop straight. There you get a great view of the drop down the Dunlop straight. You don't always get to see that from the coverage. We've got a magnificent view of it here. So the top 4 cars pretty much together. A little bit of a gap back to James Ross in 5th position. James is going to be obviously a little bit nervous coming out after that roll. We saw rolls in the senior Fiestas last year. So we know that that particular point on the circuit is one that can bite. This is the view from the Melbourne hairpin, and lead cars all through safe and well, and we'll be going back up towards the 2nd hairpin, which brings them back onto the Wheatcroft straight. The Fogarty S is the key part of the circuit they're not using this weekend, and we go back on board with Aidan Moffat to complete the first lap. So Aidan Moffat having a pretty good run, but sailing past him there is Jack Mitchell. So Mitchell up into 2nd position, WDE 1st and 2nd now, Aidan Moffat in 3rd place. And we've got a new driver on board this weekend. I mentioned that making his debut is James Manning, the 14-year-old from Shropham in Norfolk, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see James in action, just 14 years of age. But Aidan Moffat running well at the moment, 15 from Dalkeith, so a long distance traveller from Scotland. Lack of a junior championship north of the border at the moment means that he's quite happy to come down and race with the other boys in the first season of Motorsport News Ford Fiestas. Some of the drivers, we've got a couple of drivers away, there are some of them still mixing up karting commitments with circuit racing. Bobby Thompson, who made his debut in the last round at Silverstone, is one who is keeping up his karting as well. And no doubt we'll see Bobby back before the end of the season, but at the moment the battle very much on. That was the now the onboard car that we were just with, the blue car, running in 3rd place, coming down the Dunlop straight. But you can see that the man that's won 3 of the 4 races so far, Charlie Liddell in car number 32, is pretty much away with this one. We go back on board with Ben Wilcox in 4th position. Ben, just 14 years of age again. That's the younger end of the scale for coming into the Motorsport News Championship. Comes from Doncaster, car prepared by Daniels Motorsport, same as JJ Ross. Those guys, as we said, were really busy after that rollover in qualifying, but this is the second and third place cars. Bit of distance between the two of them at the moment. Jack Mitchell, again 14 years of age, just turned 14 in April, and vice champion in Super 1 in 2011, and Formula Kart Stars, which is the Formula 1 endorsed karting championship, and he's based down near Brands Hatch. But Jack having a job at the moment to try and catch up with Charlie Liddell, who is at 15 years of age, obviously got a little bit more experience, certainly of car racing, as we mentioned in previous shows. Charlie having raced in the 750 Motor Club Saxmax Championship for Citroën Saxos, but now switching over to the Ford products and enjoying it. And here's our on board with James Manning, our new driver, 14 years of age, was sent from Norfolk, started racing in 2005 at Red Lodge, was the Wild Tracks Club champion in 2006, Ella Park Winter champion in 2007, and great to have him on board in the championship. This is his first time in a race car, so a little bit of drift at the moment of JJ Ross in 6th position, but this is all very, very valuable learning time and track time. And as you can see, he's acquitting himself really well. The drivers in the championship, if you're worried or thinking, let's say if you're thinking first of all putting your own son or daughter into this championship, there's a lot of expertise in the paddock from the organisational side, the driver training side. None of the drivers get put out on circuit unless they're absolutely ready for it. All of the drivers pass the ARDS test, which is what senior drivers have to go through. So safety, an absolute paramount concern to all of these drivers. They wouldn't be allowed to go out and race if the safety considerations weren't taken care of. And to facilitate that, there are, as we said, instructors that will help the drivers, coach them on, and produce some great racing. At the moment, I've got to say, things relatively settled in terms of the Motorsport Youth Championship we've seen so far, but this is the Grand Prix circuit at Donington, so we might have expected just that. As we go back and look at the third place car, Aidan Moffat's still there, comes from Dalkeith, raced at Lochgelly and done some karting. Lochgelly, a short oval, quarter-mile oval, so with a fair bit of car racing experience, albeit on quarter miles, is Aidan, and running well at the moment. And if you look back, you can see JJ Ross. There he is, JJ Ross in car number 4 after the rollover, and then down behind JJ, James Manning. But we're going to go back to pick up the Linden Fire Service Limited entered car of 88, Ben Wilcox. Ben with clear track in front of him and behind at the moment. So the drivers in this scenario, whilst not battling with each other at the moment, will be looking at learning the lines, improving their own times, using it as very valuable seat time to just add to their experience in these cars. And adding to the winning experience is this guy out front doing an absolutely superb job. Didn't have the honour of winning the first race. That went, the first ever junior race went to Freddie Lee. But Charlie Liddell took the second, third and fourth rounds for WDE Motorsport. And there he is reeling off another lap and heading potentially towards his 4th win in a row. Been bagging quite a few fastest laps as well, has Charlie. Jack Mitchell's been challenging him quite hard. Here comes Jack into shot car number 19, fastest lap in the second race that we had at Snetterton, and thus far setting the pace here at Donington. Sometimes it helps to be the chaser, and it looks like Jack Mitchell's going to come away with fastest lap here. Certainly running real well. You're talking about a 153.918 average speed of 126 kilometres per hour. This an international meeting this weekend at Donington Park, hence the use of the Grand Prix circuit. So Liddell, car number 32, still out front. The championship leader, now he's the gap building at the moment over Jack Mitchell in car number 19. Mitchell's results, if you look at the run of Mitchell's results, there he is. 4th position race 1, this is race 5 in the series. 2nd position in race 2, 3rd position in race 3, 2nd and fastest lap in race 4, and it looks like at the moment 2nd, and he's holding fastest lap at present. So that's very much an upward trend for Jack Mitchell, and he's going to be taking the battle to the championship leader Charlie Liddell, car number 32, as the season goes on. looks to me like Mitchell's starting to close down that gap. It certainly seems to be a little bit closer than it was a few laps back, but Liddell perhaps has got it under control as he goes back onto the Wheatcroft straight over the start-finish line. Just all thankful that Donington's still here, because the existence of the place was on a knife edge, wasn't it, a couple of seasons ago. But it's a wonderful place to come and watch racing, even better place to come and race yourself. Aidan Moffat still in third, as we look at Jack Mitchell still in second position. Another, as we said, stellar career in karting, and we're getting more and more drivers making the move up from karts into cars. Why wait? I think some of the junior formulae will have some critics, but you know, if the guys are physically able to handle the cars, then why not just give them the break, get them into cars, get them used to it. And who knows, we might be looking at a future Lewis Hamilton, Jenson Button, or even maybe the touring car route, perhaps the next Matt Neal or Jason Plato, or dare we say Andy Prio or Rob Huff as well, when we're looking at the world stage, which is where some of these youngsters are going to be looking in the future for sure. So through McLean's go the leaders once again out of Coppice, and down the straight WD Motorsport well clear. Let's see if we can see the third place car hanging on, looking in the distance. Yep, there's the third place car. Aidan Moffat's still there in third place. This is quite a significant race for Aidan Moffat. Again, looking back at the race results over the first couple of events, 5th position race 1, 8th in race 2, had a retirement sadly at Snetterton first time out, but took a 6th position, so a podium. It's going to be a maiden podium for Aidan Moffat here if he can hang on. And so that's the significance of what's going on in this race at the moment. Big improvement for Aidan Moffat. The WDE boys, though, back across the line once again, down into Redgate. Haven't seen a chink in anyone's armour in this one. The only problem we've seen was that rollover in qualifying, and really just where the car dug in. Now the other circuit, it just would have been a normal off, but unfortunately the gravel can bite here at Donington Park. So WDE Motorsport 1 and 2 at the moment. Charlie Liddell leading Jack Mitchell. Aidan Moffat in third place, a little way back. Let's have a look at Aidan's lap times. Fastest lap, 1 minute 56.1 for Aidan. Liddell 1:54, Mitchell into the 53s. And new boy James Manning, incidentally, 1:59. So a little bit off the pace of the other drivers, but it's his first time in. So he's going to be pretty pleased with that. He's the young 14-year-old. But it's Liddell that's going to extend the championship lead here. As I say, 1 season of car racing very much already under his belt, and who could blame him for that? And a good, of course, to switch disciplines as well from Sax Max into Fiestas. Hopefully we'll maybe see him in a couple of seasons' time make the move into the Senior ST Championship, the Class C, which would be good to give some of the other drivers a run for their money. And what we're generally seeing now is the average age of a lot of these formulae is coming down because of the youngsters coming through initiatives like this Junior Championship. And Liddell not putting a wheel wrong, hasn't had to deal with anything of a challenge. He's just had to keep his mind very much focused on the road ahead, think about his lines, think about the lap times, and just one more lap to go. Having said that, Jack Mitchell definitely closer now. He's getting down towards about 1 second. It's not going to be enough, I don't think, in terms of the difference on lap times to be able to mount a challenge on this last lap. This is lap 8 of the race. Mitchell still trying to hunt him down, so through Redgate, Hollywood, down the hill, through the Craner curves. Absolutely awesome one. If you ever get the chance to have a track day here or a circuit ride, do take it, because it's a phenomenal place. Into the old hairpin for the last time, and it looks like Liddell is going to make it 4 wins out of 4. Past the old second commentary position, the spark plug that's on the outside. They're not a particularly nice place to commentate from in very hot or wet or cold weather, but nonetheless a bit of an icon for the Donington Park circuit. The lead drivers are going to be paying no heed to that as they head up into McLean's corner for the last time. And again, no mistakes at all from Charlie Liddell. The Brightlingsea based youngster is going to, along with Jack Mitchell, make it a 1-2 for WDE Motorsport. Here they come then down the Dunlop Straight, used to be known as the Exhibition Straight, a great exhibition of Formula 1 cars in the centre there. Through the S's, onto the Melbourne Loop and down to the last hairpin. Well, Jack Mitchell very much closer, but still not in a position as such to challenge as the race leader rounds the final turn. It's been a very good race from Charlie Liddell. Again, this is a name to watch out for in senior racing in the future, and he's going to take the checkered flag. There it is, win number 4 for Charlie Liddell. Freddie Lee, the only driver to beat him so far. Freddie not with us today, but Liddell extends his championship lead. Jack Mitchell in second position, and we're just waiting for Aidan Moffat to come around the last turn. There is Aidan, who will take his first podium, a significant result for the young Scots driver. Liddell wins. Fastest lap and second place to Jack Mitchell, with Aidan Moffat third, Ben Wilcox in fourth place, JJ Ross completing the race in fifth place, and a debut sixth position for newcomer James Manning.
Hi Charlie, you started on pole, finished the race in first, obviously went well.
Yeah, it went really well. I managed to get a really great start off the line and pulled a fair gap from Jack on the first lap and managed to hold it to the end.
Yeah, and Jack was catching you at the end of the race. Is there any concerns for race 2?
Yeah, he was catching a lot towards the end of the race. I think it was easier for him because he was chasing, but to see how race 2 goes.
Right, Jack, bit of a disastrous start, but it turned out all right in the end.
Yeah, I didn't get the best of starts, which put me down the grid, but I tried to get my best in front of the pack and try and keep with Charlie, hunt him down. I ran out of laps in the end, which was a shame, but I did my best, really.
Yeah, you were very quick, half a second quicker than anybody else out there. You enjoying Donington?
Yeah, Donington's a very good track, it's nice and flowing, and I'm getting more and more confident every time I'm going out.
Right, Aidan, you finished third. How are you finding it out there?
Yeah, I went well. I didn't get the best of starts, but managed to get back up into second the first lap. Then had a couple of problems with gear changes, but we've got that sorted now for the next race.
Welcome to another episode of Racing No Filter. Joining me in sunny California, Bill Wood, and down in sunny Florida, Peter Keene.
We're going to take a look at some of the products HPD has created for the 2012 Honda Civic, and specifically we're going to show you how to install an adjustable sway bar.
Until then, folks out there, you take care.
Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new Go Racing TV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Race 2 for the Motorsport News Ford Fiesta Junior Championship, the 6th race of the 2012 season, the maiden season for these cars. And pole position goes to race 1 winner Charlie Liddell, with Jack Mitchell, his teammate, alongside. Row 2, Aidan Moffat and Ben Wilcox in car number 88. On the third row, the grid completed by James Ross and James Manning. James Manning on his second ever race start, just turned 14 years of age, so big ask for him to be up challenging for overall honours here, but this is going to be very much experience building for him. Countdown virtually completed and we're ready to go for our second race. Pole position, left of screen, on in the white car, Charlie Liddell gets away well. James Ross gets away well too. The yellow and blue car down the inside. He's managed to get past Aidan Moffat. He's up into third place and challenging Jack Mitchell on the inside for second. Mitchell's down to third. James Ross up into second position. Aidan Moffat challenging for third as well as they go down through Redgate into Hollywood for the first time, but no mistaking Charlie Liddell, who leads. There's a challenge on for second place. Jack Mitchell's got the inside line and makes it through back into second position. James Ross, though, great recovery from his qualifying misdemeanor, and he's in third position. Then Ben Wilcox. Aidan Moffat from third on the grid is going to be very cross with himself, back in fifth place. This is the view from Aidan's car in fifth position, chasing Ben Wilcox at the moment. Up through Schwantz curve they go. brake lights on from the car in front into McLean's, and then a short run down the straight in towards Coppice Corner. The WDE boys doing the business out front, 1 and 2 for Wayne Easton's team from their front row start, looking to add more points to their campaign. And now onto the Dunlop straight we go once again. Down the hill into the chicane. Now normally through the Fogarty S's would go off to the right and then left back onto the Wheatcross straight, but we go left and then right, and that takes us down onto the Melbourne hairpin. A bit of circuit there at the moment. It's generally used as a forming up area when we're using the short track, but today it's seeing race action in anger. And this is the view from that 4th position car. Aidan Moffat trying to close down on Ben Wilcox, then in 4th position, so Aidan with 2 positions to get back on par with his race 1 finish. There's James Ross in 3rd position, Wilcox still there in 4th in car number 88, then a wee bit of a gap back to Aidan Moffat. Still running is James Manning at the back of the field. Let's see if we can just catch and see James. There he is at the back of the field, hasn't lost too much ground on the first lap. All really good character building stuff for him. Race leaders into Redgate. So 3rd position, James Ross. This could be good news for him. He's took a podium, hasn't been on the podium since the first race at Silverstone. 3rd position behind Charlie Liddell, leading this one of course, and Freddie Lee. Ben Wilcox in red, looking for his first podium. Wondering if this weekend is perhaps going to be one of first podium, because Wilcox race record thus far, retirement in that first race at Silverstone, 7th, 5th and a brace of 4th position. So to improve on that, a 3rd position will be good, but he's got to get past James JJ Ross in front of him. So the race leaders still well clear. Ross still there in 3rd position, Wilcox in 4th, and a little bit of a gap back to Aidan Moffat. James Manning in 6th place, all 6 cars still running, so no problem with driving standards again. Liddell doing what he's done so well this year, getting out front and getting away. Back onto the Melbourne Loop they go. And Wilcox now about to chase James Ross down into the hairpin. Turns in, a little bit of a way back at the moment, so not in a position to challenge, but he'll just be focusing on his racing line. It hasn't had that much time in the car. Wilcox, only 3 of the 6 drivers that are out today have started and finished all of the races that we've had so far. JJ Ross, the car in front, is one of those. So in terms of seat time, racing seat time, JJ Ross and the 2 guys that are out front have had the best of the racing track time. You can see how close it is between the top 5, and James Manning will certainly over the course of the next few rounds be looking to close in on them, but the 88 car phased at that early little excursion onto the gravel when they came into the chicane. He's responded to that really well, and he's busy challenging James Ross for that 3rd position. Down through the Craner curves into the old hairpin, and he's gone through. What a great manoeuvre. Well, that will be a fantastic move in senior Formula E, but even more so, very admirable stuff from Ben Wilcox to go through and take 3rd position at the old hairpin like that. Well, can't you just see him doing that in the touring cars in a few years' time? That'll be great to see. And James Ross has now got to try and fight back in car number 4. And fight back he surely will. He'll be absolutely buoyed by a fantastic start in this race, going from 5th up into 2nd position at Redgate, only to lose it, drop down to 3rd, now finds himself in 4th place. But Ben Wilcox is getting away from him. Ben looking for a first podium. He's thinking, heck, if Aidan Moffat could grab a first podium, I'm going to grab one too. That's how competitive this championship is. And at the moment, Wilcox looks as if he might well be on for it, although JJ Ross just starting at the moment to, I think he's a little bit closer than he was maybe 2 or 3 corners back. Seems to have had a better run through Coppice, and he's going to try and challenge. They come down into the hairpin once again. This is the view from the 5th place car, Aidan Moffat. He wishes he was up there racing with the 2 guys in front of him. Remember, Aidan was there in race number 1 with that 3rd place. at the moment. He's just got to content himself with focusing on the job in hand, putting in the best laps that he can. So up across the line goes Charlie Liddell, still from Jack Mitchell in second. These two giving us a bit of a masterclass, I've got to say, at the moment. What about these lap times that we're looking at? Liddell and Mitchell actually closer in this race than they were in the previous one. Best lap from Liddell, 153.938 on the last two. We'll see whether Jack Mitchell can respond to that in this one. Still a great scrap going on for third position behind, but Liddell extending his lead over that last lap. Mitchell not too far away. Now, of course, they are teammates, and when they get into battling mode, they will battle hard. They've both paid their money to be here, but there is a certain amount of extra respect that you have to have for your teammate. Well, they're not really into battling territory with him yet, so maybe we'll leave that for when or if they do get into battling territory. But heading up towards McLean's once again, these two running pretty well, you've got to say. Look how clear they are of the third place car. We look back, where is the third place car? Look, WD Motorsport, and Ben Wilcox still there in third, but James Ross closing in, so that might be the reason they've dropped away. They've of course been squabbling over the position themselves. Aidan Moffat still there in fifth place. You can see the race leaders down the other end of the circuit already through the chicane. Here come the leaders again, down towards the hairpin. And Charlie Liddell. This looks like a good lap for my money from Jack Mitchell. He's a wee bit closer as they come back onto the wheat cross straight. We'll get a handle on the timing when they come up across the line. We're going to look back to the battle for third position though, Ben Wilcox. And I can tell you as the leaders cross the line that it's a fastest lap for Jack Mitchell. 1 minute 53.691, and he is closing in on Charlie Liddell out front. Liddell still leading, but it was a marginally faster lap and fastest lap of the race for Jack Mitchell as we go back to the battle for third position. JJ Ross, Ben Wilcox still really hard at it. Wilcox with the upper hand at the moment, and he's made a mistake. He's off, he goes wide. Wilcox has gone wide, and James Ross has come through. He's got back into third position. Was that a pressure moment, I wonder? James Ross up onto a potential podium now, into third place. And Ben Wilcox is going to be kicking himself for that one. Oh, throws it into the old hairpin. Keep your foot down. He loses momentum. Actually, that was a good recovery. Now here comes Aidan Moffat. Moffat manages to go past. That just goes to show you how much speed was scrubbed off through that. Moffat's at full tilt, coming out of the old hairpin, under Starkey's bridge, and you saw him absolutely sail past Ben Wilcox. So Ben, who was challenging for third, who was in third place, now finds himself down in fifth, with Aidan Moffat having passed him. I wonder how much ground Aidan has pulled out. We can't see from the onboard. Having a quick look in the mirrors on the shot, we can't see from that either. Well, there's the answer. James Ross now clear in third. Aidan Moffat up into fourth position, and Ben Wilcox in fifth. He's going to try and fight back. He's going to be kicking himself for sure, but it's all part of the learning. The main thing is the car's in one bit. Well, whatever happened, he kept the car racing, which is key, and he's still there, fifth position. So here we go, on board. Now, does the body language tell you he's a wee bit frustrated? I'm not really sure. He's perhaps snatching at the gears a wee bit, but he's still focusing very much on the job in hand. And sometimes this is where the red mist kicks in. If you make a mistake, you can sometimes pull the fastest lap out of the bag. Once that kind of mistake happens, this is where we come back onto the main circuit. You can see the grandstand there, and he's having a go, so he's going to try and go past Aidan Moffat. I think he's got the position done as they come down towards Redgate, round the outside. So it's the red car on the outside, is Ben Wilcox, but Aidan Moffat hangs onto it. So it would be Scotland International going on here. And was there a little bit of paint trading going on between the two cars? Wilcox has got the inside line, and is he going to hang on to it? This is where they come down. This is brave stuff. Even I've said it before, this is brave for seniors, and even more so for the junior racers. A bit of paint trading going on, and Aidan Moffat loses the place. Ben Wilcox back into fourth position. Moffat all over the grass. Now we're going to see a bit of red mist from Moffat, because he's going to want the position back. So Wilcox was cross with himself for losing third place, but he's got back up into fourth. And Aidan Moffat, look at that, he's really working hard at the wheel. Moffat wants fourth position back. Out of McLean's, up towards Coppice. Climb, climb, climb. Turn now. Then they're going to head on to the Dunlop Straight. This is a real cracking battle that we've got going on for 4th position. And this is all going to aid the cause of James Ross. JJ Ross in 3rd place. He's going to be clear. He's going to be pulling clear of these. But Aidan Moffat now, what's he going to do? Ideally, wants to come down the inside here as they go into the chicane. He's late on the brakes. And he's through. Is he going to end up on the gravel? I don't think he got the floppy marker. And look at that. Wilcox is all over the place. Wilcox was too fast in as well. And surely has lost the position. Out front, Charles Liddell comes back onto the main part of the club circuit here on the Grand Prix circuit at Donington Park. This has been a cracking weekend for WDE. 1st and 2nd. Liddell, despite the fastest lap of Jack Mitchell, is still there. Mitchell in 2nd position. Look at the gap they've got over James Ross in 3rd position. You can't see Ross, they've got the length of the straight. It's a huge advantage that these two have got. Down through Redgate into Hollywood. Race leaders still clear, still getting away with this one, and it's going to be a WDE car by the looks of things to take the flag. I wonder what Jack Mitchell's got to do to try and take a win. This will be his 3rd second position on the bounce and 5th podium in a row for Jack Mitchell. And of course he's going to be trying his hardest as they come towards the closing stages to try and beat his teammate. Mitchell will know through these fastest laps. That'll be 3 fastest laps in a row for him. So it's going to be a major boost for his confidence as we go on to event 4 of the championship. We're just going to go back now. There's the scrap between Aidan Moffat. Look at the battle-scarred cars that we've got here. Look at Ben Wilcox. He's got damage on the front. That was when they went into the chicane that time, I think. Aidan Moffat looking a lot more comfortable in 4th position now than he did. But these two have certainly been in a race. The cars are still going, which is the important thing. One thing he won't be able to do is chew it over a pint for a few years, but I'm sure that will come when they're older drivers. Just look at the distance there. JJ Ross well ahead of them. The field, you've got to say at the moment, pretty settled. Probably 1st and 2nd, the closest battle on circuit at the moment, if we could call it a battle, between the WDE Motorsport boys. There's a good few lengths between them on the last lap. So back with our race leaders. This is what I was talking about. As you can see, it is close between these two teammates. And believe you me, the guy in 2nd position, Jack Mitchell, wants to catch Charlie Liddell. The man in front is heading for his 5th win on the bounce. The man in 2nd place heading for his 5th podium on the bounce. Unless he can dethrone the championship leader there, but Liddell looking very good value here around Donington. He has not put a wheel wrong as far as I've seen. Didn't quite manage to get the fastest lap thus far, unless he could do it on this lap. That's gone to Jack Mitchell there in car number 19. So Mitchell, who's made the move from karting this season, you've got to say, in terms of newcomers to car racing, probably the pick of the field, because Liddell, as we mentioned, in his 2nd season of car racing, and enjoying this run at the moment as he heads up towards McLean's for the last time to try and make it a double win. WDE Motorsport will extend their lead at the top of the championship, out of Coppice for the last time, onto the Dunlop Straight, just the Melbourne Loop to negotiate once they get to the end here. This is what caused the problems for Aidan Moffat and Ben Wilcox, but no such problem for the WDE boys, but it is closer than ever before, and Jack Mitchell's putting the pressure on big time on this last lap, and possibly an overtake. 2 overtaking positions here, one at the end of the straight here and another one before they come back. He's having a look at the inside, but he hasn't managed to do it, and at the moment Charlie Liddell is hanging on to it as they come into the last corner. Liddell, car number 32, he's on the outside line and through. Into the lead goes Jack Mitchell. Mitchell's got the lead on the last lap, but Liddell up on the inside. It's a run to the flag. Round 6, what a cracking finish. They're side by side, and Charles Liddell takes it by 1/100th of a second. What a cracking last lap from the Motorsport News Ford Fiesta Junior Championship. And Jack Mitchell must be wondering what he's got to do to take a win. The teammates with good, clean, hard, fair racing, 1st and 2nd. JJ Ross comes home for a 2nd career podium in 3rd place. Confirmation of that, Liddell wins. Mitchell second and fastest lap. JJ Ross in third. Aidan Moffat holds on for fourth. Spirited drive from Ben Wilcox in sixth. And a second race finish for James Manning in sixth position.
All right, Charlie, well, that was a close one at the end. 13 thousandths of a second. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Jack, I made a bit of a mistake coming out of the chicane for the last time. Jack managed to get up the inside into the Melbourne loop, and but luckily I was held it around the outside for the last corner and managed to get the cut back and beat him by a very small amount.
All right, Jack, you nearly had him, didn't you? Tell us about it.
Yeah, I didn't get a good start again, which was a shame. So Charlie had quite a big gap, but I did my best to hunt him down. Last few laps, we had a little coming together, which gave him the run on the last corner. But I'm still pleased with second.